Hi, my name is Rod Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome to another edition of How to Build Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing. I'm Rod Khleif, and I am thrilled you're here. And I know you're going to get tremendous information from the very seasoned operator that I'm interviewing today. His name's Todd Dexheimer. He's been on the show before, and he's the principal of Endurus Capital and VitaCare Living. He's owned over 4,000 multifamily units. He's in senior assisted living, got 340 units there. Done a lot of real estate, forgotten more about real estate than a lot of people will know. And so we're going to have a lot of fun today. Todd, welcome to the show. Welcome back, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rod. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. So, since it's been so long, why don't you just give like a little highlight reel of your experience for those that may not have heard the initial episode, and then we'll have some fun.
Yeah. Man, way back when I started as a high school teacher and turned into a real estate guy, buying single family homes, duplexes, triplexes, stuff like that. I flipped a lot of homes, flipped about 150 of them, and bought a lot of just that 1 to 4 family rentals. That's how I was going to build my portfolio, my goal at one time was 1,000 1 to 4 family houses, one to four family buildings, which I think you did this kind of the same, very similar thing. Just
thank God you got smart and got away from that one. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It just like started to become overwhelming, coming a headache, realizing my margins were going down and had to shift and go in a different direction. That was honestly multifamily. Started making a lot of sense to be buying multifamily buildings. So started kind of small, buying 10, 20 unit buildings. And then eventually into syndications that I'm doing right now is buying 100 plus unit multifamily. And we're also buying some senior assisted living over the last couple of years. We've also been buying that and just a few other opportunities that may make sense as we go. So
question, I don't want to derail the conversation here because it's really a multifamily podcast, but on your senior living, are you actually managing the asset, or you just own the asset and you're leasing to an operator?
So we don't lease to the operator. We hire a third-party property management company, very similar to multifamily. They're doing all the groundwork, the day-to-day stuff, and so we're managing that manager. So yeah, technically the operations are in with our business, but we're giving the third-party management away.
Gotcha. Yeah. Refresh my memory. What'd you do before real estate? I mean, did you start in real estate? Was that your first business, or did you have a different career before that?
My first business was in real estate, but no, prior to that, I was a high school shop teacher teaching industrial tech, wood tech, metals, that type of stuff. I did that
taking the plastic
years.
And making a bowl out of it by putting it into, that's about the only thing I got accomplished that got done in shop class. I was not the handiest. That's funny. That's awesome. So, along the way, I know that you've gone a lot of different directions. Did you? I assume you started out on your own, but now you've got a team put together. Yes. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah, man. I mean, I could tell the stories, but yeah, I started on my own trying to do everything myself. I mean, I'd get done teaching for the day and I would drive directly to the properties and I would be the one swinging the hammer, doing all that, going to look for new properties, trying to manage everything. And it took me a long time. I mean, we can dig into that journey, but it took me a long time to really figure out that there had to be a better way. And it just, a lot of little mistakes along the way, and had a hard time. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, myself for sure, is just a control freak, right? I think I can do everything better than everybody else. And I'm quite frankly, I feel like I'm pretty dang good at a lot of things, but it takes a lot to finally realize, and a lot of, a lot of just lessons that you learn along the way that go, okay, you might be okay at doing this. You might even be good at doing this, but is this what you need to be spending your time doing to actually grow your business? Sure. I'm really good, Rod, at construction. I can tile a shower. I can do a great job at doing that. I can, trim out an entire house and make it look beautiful. I can build a cabinet and make it look gorgeous. But is that really where I should be spending my time? And so you just, over and over, you got to always be asking yourself that. And I still do that to this day. Like, is this where I should really be spending my time? I was doing some data entry this morning. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why is this not being handed off to somebody else? It doesn't make sense to do.
Yeah.
So,
I get asked the question all the time, what's the first person I should hire when I'm getting in this business? And frankly, it's always an executive assistant.
Yeah.
Having a VA, a personal assistant, because, I love to ride my lawnmower around the yard. Is that the best use of my freaking time? No. So, now, and as it relates to being a control freak, I am that on steroids. And it took me a long time to realize there are actually people that can do it a hell of a lot better than I can do it. Okay. Yep. And that was a little painful to come to that realization, but that's the truth of it.
And you think it's so easy to think I'm spending this money on this. No, I don't want to spend this money on this person's going to cost me whatever, $500 or $1,000 or $10,000. And so I'm not going to spend this money. I'm going to save it. I'm going to do it myself. But once you actually start giving some of that away, you realize you're making way more money in the end. And no, I'm not telling somebody that's just beginning, go and hire all these people but you need to do it as quickly as you can. And probably 100% of the time, it's sooner than what you think.
Well, hiring may be the wrong word. I tell people, figure out what you're good at, and then hire is one option. A partner is another option. Joint venture is another option. Just find 100%. People to do what you're not strong at, because if you're playing to your strengths, first of all, you're going to love it because you're doing what you love anyway. So you're going to be good at it regardless. Second of all, if you're doing what you love and you're playing to your strengths, you're going to be passionate about it. And this business requires relationships, and people want to work with people that are passionate about what they're doing. Absolutely. And so if everybody's playing to their strengths, so let me ask you this, what role do you play now, Todd? And what does your team look like?
Yeah, great question. I've got a couple main kind of responsibilities. One is investor relations. And so building our investor database and communicating with investors and just trying to continue to grow those relationships, which I actually have, I've got a team member that helps me delegate that stuff or do a lot of that stuff. So I don't have to do a lot of the, I'm really good at maybe creating the first contact and creating that relationship, but I'm not as good at that follow through and that continued. And so, so I realized that. And so I have somebody that does that for me. And so that's one. And then the other aspect is construction management. I've done a lot of construction. So construction management. So what's my team look like? I've got two partners. We've got a construction manager. We've got the investor relations. We've got we've got a couple assistants, executive assistant, bookkeeper. And then we've got a broker relations or I guess whatever you want to call it. Somebody that finds properties, underwrites them, all that kind of stuff. So okay, so so you've got someone that actually develops the broker relationships and does the underwriting. Yeah, and one of my business, so I've got two business partners, right? And so they're in charge of those things too. So one of my business partners is kind of in charge of that aspect. The other one's in charge of more of the financing and some of bringing the deal to closing. Like that. So yeah, we all have our roles, and then we have people that kind of I suppose support us in our roles as well. Were these roles apparent right out of the gate, or did you evolve into them? And I'm giving this a little more energy than maybe normal, just because you've got a pretty well put together team now, and teamwork is this business is a team sport. And by the way, guys, I still have a few tickets left to my Denver boot camp, and there are two. It's up in 2 weeks. And by the way, Todd, we're airing this one today. Okay, just so you know, this one's going live today, and right now it is July 18th. And so, if you DM me on any social channel, I'll give you a code. You can still come for $197. It's up to $600 or $700 now. But if you DM me on any social channel, you come for $197. If you can make it to Denver, because opportunity is coming. And Todd and I will talk about that before we cut loose today, but about this market that we're in right now. But so, Rod, since you just mentioned that, I just want to say this to anybody who's listening, by the way, I will say Rod's events are phenomenal. And by the way, they're probably better than when I was there, because I think the last event of yours, Rod, that I was at was 2018 or 2019, and it was an excellent event then. So I can't imagine.
Do you remember where it was?
That was in Chicago.
The Chicago one. Oh, that was 18. Wow. That was a good bit ago.
So that was a while ago, but it was a phenomenal event. Really enjoyed it. Tons of great information, man. Your energy. I can't believe you can be up on stage that long and still be like,
yeah. Well, so I'm exercising really heavily right now, getting ready for it, man. I got to tell you, because I face plant for about a week, but yeah. So guys, you can go to rodindenver.com, or you can text my name, Rod, to 72345 to get the link. Again, 72345, text Rod to get the link. And if you DM me on any social, and I'm on all of them, you can still come from 197. I'd love to get a few more people there. We're close to being sold out, but we're at about 800. So it should be good. But anyway, so I digress there for a moment, back to the team question.
Yeah, I'll answer that question. So with the team, it definitely evolved, right? It just doesn't start out as this huge team and you're going, oh, look, you got to start making money. It's got to be a business. If you're just going to start and you're going to create this huge team and you're going to be paying people, that's not going to work. So you already kind of mentioned it. Look, you don't have to pay people on your payroll. You can start your team as having a couple partners or some JV. They don't even have to be business partners to the sense of you're going to do every single deal and you're marrying each other. You're just marrying each other on this deal. You're doing
that's right. Really important. I just want to hammer home what he just said. You date before you get married.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I host the largest mastermind in this space, and I had two very large partners in there that broke up big partnerships, male and a female, because they didn't date before they got married. They got married, and now they had to go through divorce, because that's what a partnership's like when you break one up. Easy to get into, hard to get out of. But I just wanted to hammer that home. Keep going, Todd. Sorry.
My two partners, we were doing business with each other ever since 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. And then in 2021, we said, let's make this an official partnership. So we held each other's hands for a long time. We were JV partners. We'd been doing deals together exclusively that whole time, but we officially formed, the company in 2021.
You didn't formalize it right away. So you took 3 or 4 years. See, that's really admirable, and that's tough to do sometimes, but it's important. So I completely agree with you.
Here's what I would say about building the team. You need to come up with your vision, right? You need to understand what your business is going to look like, and then we can pick out some of the parts. So as we look, we said, all right, we need somebody that can handle, we've got a lot of properties we're underwriting, but we need more deals to actually purchase. So that's number one. All right. So who do we hire? Well, naturally, we hire somebody that can help us find more deals, underwrite more deals, talk with more brokers, and really get that. Okay, now deals are coming. Now who do we need to hire? Well, we need an investor relations person. Okay, perfect. Well, we got so many deals going, and now we're doing all this construction. Who do we hire? Well, we hire a construction manager. Now we're hiring an asset manager. We got our bookkeeper and so on. And so you just got to look at, okay, where are the next steps? And so we already have it laid out who our next hires are coming up, when we feel like they're coming, what kind of unit count and progress do we need to make before those hires happen? I think that's really valuable. Just understand your vision of where your business is at, how it's growing, and then who gets in what place and when.
Yeah. And that's by planning, guys. Okay. I hope you heard that. That's basically, fail to plan to fail. Right. And so he's talking about business planning here. You're strategizing, your future needs. In any business, you're going to do that. And this is a business, guys. So, oh gosh, and I lost my train of thought.
Ryan, can I tell a fun story? This is from when I was first beginning. I don't know how much time you have, so I don't want to derail.
No, we're good.
We're good. So when I was first beginning, I was this was a couple of years, maybe a year in or so. I hired people. I realized I needed to hire people to do the construction, but I was actually the guy going and getting deliveries. So I would run to Home Depot or Menards or Lowe's or whatever. So I'd run to I get to Home Depot and I've got a Nissan Altima. It's a car. So I pile in like 7-8 bags of concrete in there, Sackcrete, and I got 2x4s in there, shingles, and who knows what. This car is full of just stuff. And you can't, those of you who are listening on the podcast, you can't see, but my car is driving like at a 15-degree angle,
right. Your nose in the air, butt on the ground, dragging the ground. Right.
And I'm driving down the road and I hit this railroad track, and this railroad track's got a big bump, and I didn't realize it with that full of a load. And my car, the back end just goes boom. You hear this big, like, scraping on the ground, and I limp to the service station. Everything in the back end, my shock struts, all that had to fully be redone. And I'm like, this is so stupid. There's got to be a better way. So I go to Home Depot. I'm like, hey, what can I do? And they go, oh, we'll just send somebody out to your job site. They'll make a full material list for you, and then they'll order, and we can give you free deliveries, by the way. And I'm like, what? You guys can do that? Oh yeah, you just need to get this Home Depot account with us.
Wow. You didn't know. Wow.
Amazing. But you don't know if you don't ask, if you don't dig, if you don't start to ask those questions. Who can do this job for me? I think that's the most important part. Who can do this job for me? Great
message there. And there's a great learning opportunity in all of that as it relates to team. Well, so let's pivot.
Story for being an idiot, right?
Oh yeah. Well, we've all been there, brother. Let me tell you, I leaving stuff on the stringing along the highway, going down the highway. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to Lowe's and Home Depot, and then, and I'll end up not getting everything that's needed. And it's just such a pain in the ass. But been there, done that. So as you're going through this growth over these last 4 or 5 years, talk about any aha moments that you had, any epiphanies, any like, holy crap, now I get it. Well, that was an example of one right there, but any others that come to mind of any epiphanies, that may have caused you to pivot into a different asset class I'm trying to help you with the thought on this, because I know I didn't prepare you for this. Anything come to mind?
I mean, so many, right? I think as you go along this journey, you get these paradigm shifts, right? Your brain says that this is the way to go, or this is the limitation. You got these limiting beliefs, and all of a sudden, like, something happens. You watch somebody, you listen to somebody, you just do something, and you're like, whoa, I didn't realize that was even possible. I was the one that comes to my mind is I was buying 1 to 4 family houses, and I'm buying I'm going to buy a 10 unit building or that type of building. So I bought a 22 unit building, about a 10 unit building, a couple of those types of buildings.
Where at, by the way, just for context for me?
When is this?
No, where?
So this was back in 2015, and I was buying these buildings. I'm based in Minnesota, but I was buying these buildings in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati. Okay. We've got several assets there. Okay. Got it.
You do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here, buying these buildings. I think it was probably 2016 when this moment happened. And I was actually, talking with a mentor of mine, and I said, we were talking about a mutual person that we both know that's buying larger buildings at the time. And I said, I really want to get there. I got to keep on buying some of these buildings, kind of work my way up, and eventually I'll be able to buy a 200 unit building. He says, what's stopping you from doing it right now? I'm like, nothing.
The box that you've painted yourself into is what's doing it. Yeah.
It was just that simple of a question. Now, sometimes it doesn't come that simply, but it was just that simple of a question. I said, nothing's stopping me. You're right.
Just fear. That's it. False evidence appearing real.
Yeah, literally, Rod, the next day I went out and started looking for bigger properties. And within, I don't know, a month or two, I had an 84 unit under contract. I had a 120 unit under contract a couple weeks or months after that. And it had bought 204 units all of a sudden, boom, like that. And it was just because of this paradigm shift, these limiting beliefs that you put on yourself, these kind of, you got this ceiling and you think that's where, or this graduating process, whatever it might be. For me, it was that was somehow I had to graduate to get to the next level. And it's like a bunch of BS you tell yourself.
So you obviously believe in mentors as well.
Look, mentors are and they come in many different forms.
Oh, sure.
And you should have many different types of mentors. But yeah, mentors are critical if you want to continue to grow your business, if you want to have success. You need to have people that can help you. You need to have people, honestly, Rod, I know you do some stuff, but I think the most value you probably add to people, it's not teaching them the 101 of real estate. Any mentor, the most value they add is just shifting that paradigm, shifting that mindset. Yeah. And I know you're a big Tony Robbins guy, and you love that. And I love the mindset stuff too. And I think it's so powerful. We get in our own way. Our limitation is because of we get in our way. And we have to have people that look at us and can go, look, you're in your own way. Because a lot of times we can't see it.
Oh yeah, because you're working inside the business instead of on your business.
Yeah, and working so hard. You think you're doing it right, and you're doing great things probably, but it just takes that one person, that one mentor that goes, "Hey, did you think of this?
Take it to the next level."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No, and you're absolutely right. And I'm really proud of something. You don't know this, but my warriors, my coaching students, we're in the 65 to 70,000 units owned range right now. That's between awesome. My warriors. And I haven't even been teaching 5 years. Super proud of that.
Congratulations, man. And that's amazing. I mean, you're doing something that, again, like you're teaching the 101 and all that kind of stuff. But the only reason why there's 60 to 70,000 units between these the warrior coaching students is that you're actually teaching them more than just real estate 101, because that they can learn in a book. You're going beyond, you're going deeper, of course, on the real estate, but you're also going deeper.
Thanks for that.
Really
thanks for that. Yeah, that's the truth of it. And I know that's the reason that they've been so incredibly successful. In the group itself, just the dynamic of the teams that have been built inside. Most of this has been done between warriors. By the way, if you're interested in applying to my warrior program, text the word crush to 72345. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to plug it for a second there, Todd. But so let's talk about where we are right now in the market, because it is a crazy freaking time. I don't know about you, but I've gotten more emails from brokers in the last week than I've gotten in the last 3 years. Okay. I mean, it's been insane. The deals are coming out of the woodwork. Moving forward, I don't believe that the issue is going to be finding deals. It's going to be finding money, because people are going to get scared and all that. But what are your thoughts? Because the Fed is supposed to raise the rates even as much as a full percentage point this month. I've been reading in a few places. Definitely likely to be at least 3/4 of a base, the 75 basis points. So what are your thoughts about the future?
Your guess is really as good as mine on the future. But here are a few of my thoughts. First of all, the interest rates definitely are going to affect buying power, and that's just how it is. Multifamily, although there is some emotions, definitely in multifamily, it still comes down to the fundamentals. It still comes down to the cash flow
and numbers.
Being able to, so people have to have prices adjust due to interest rates, and the higher interest rates go, the more prices have to adjust. Now, again, do I expect you to be able to go and buy a 10 cap on a A or B class property? No, I don't. The cap rates aren't going to just all of a sudden, expand drastically, but we're going to see a little bit of cap rate expansion. You're going to have, I think it's going to be a tale of two, sellers, right? You're going to have the one seller that just doesn't care. They don't need to sell. They got a good property. If you want to buy it, pay me. And then you're going to have the other seller that got into some bad loan.
How about bridge debt? Some of this bridge debt, huh?
Yeah, got into a bridge debt at 80, 85% loan to cost. They weren't, their business plan was weak. They weren't able to execute it, extremely well. Rents didn't go up by the crazy amounts they projected. Were underwriting.
I've seen pitch decks with 10% a year for all 5 years.
10% a year,
like really?
Yeah. I saw a pitch deck the other day of a market, and they were showing that the market had been going up by, I think, 14% a year, and that there was projected to go up another like 9.5%. And they were showing how they're conservative were at 7% rent increases. I'm like, you're nuts. It's maybe it happens.
There could be some opportunity there. Yes. I mean, I think some of that stuff could have some real problems, and these people have to sell.
So here's what, real estate, Rod, as you know, throughout the time, we have 2008, we have 1929, right? We have a few of those types of markets that the bottom falls out. But for the most part, the bottom doesn't fall out. But here's what happens anytime a market becomes soft. There still is opportunity. The vast majority of the properties that are in non-distressed states, the values probably don't go down. Maybe they go down a little bit, but no big deal.
Right.
Where you will find the opportunity is those distressed, those bridge loans, the owners that just counted on just crazy numbers and they can't handle it anymore and they have to sell, or they're panic sellers too.
Right. Or they're not good asset managers. I mean, there's
terrible asset managers.
Yeah, that's going to be a big component moving forward here, is actually how you run the property, keep the tenants happy, keep them in the asset, take care of them. And I think there's going to be some issues there as well. Some people are saying it's going to be as big a crash as 08 and 9. I don't think it is. The demand is still there. It's totally different now. It's not like, if you could fog a mirror, you could buy a house in 2007. Those days are over. But I do think there's going to be some pain in our world. I really do, because I think some of these aggressive bridge loans, we've been in best and final on dozens of deals, and we're like, it traded for what?
Yeah,
are you freaking kidding me?
I was 25% under that. How?
Right, exactly. How the hell is that ever going to work? And somebody's lying to somebody in their investor pool, and I think there's going to be a reckoning in there. But my kids love to tell me, "You're tired of being wrong." That's one of their favorite lines. So I'm wrong all the time. I am fairly bearish right now. I'm just going to tell you, I think there's going to be great opportunity to buy deals and over the next couple of years, but who knows?
I'm probably, I don't know. I wouldn't definitely call myself extremely bearish. Here's again what I think is going to happen in the market. I think there's going to be opportunities, but I think the people that are going to be able to buy those opportunities are well positioned. They're experienced. They're experienced. They are coming to the table with very strong offers, and I don't mean by putting together a ton of money into the deal. Right. I'm saying it's going to be a strong, like they're financially backed. The seller thinks that they can perform.
Lower loan to value.
Has to sell.
Right.
And so they're going, hey, is this buyer going to close? So surety of close is going to be huge. And that's how you're going to find the deals. But I don't think,
Agreed.
And again, this is my personal opinion. I don't think there's going to be deals falling all over in the market that are going to be great. I think there's going to be some that are going to be phenomenal, and the rest of them are just going to be status quo.
Yep. Which is still better than it's been for the last 2 years.
Way better than it's been.
I mean, we're under contract on a beautiful asset in Nashville right now. I mean, it's gorgeous. And, we'd have never gotten it if the shift hadn't happened. And we're getting long-term fixed rate debt and super stress testing it. And, it breaks even at a very low economic occupancy and just all of these things, 6 months of operating reserves, including the debt, just really being super conservative.
It's funny you mentioned Nashville, Rod, because I actually, though, that's where I think opportunities will end up coming out more often than not, is markets that have seen a pretty significant rise. Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Nashville, Tennessee,
Florida, damn near the whole state.
A lot of Florida. So I see those markets as these are markets that are going to be strong markets in the future, but in the meantime, you're probably going to find some of those great deals like you found in Nashville. If you go into those markets, you're going to find some of those deals because people were being so aggressive in those markets. Right. And even though they'll have some pain right now, the beautiful thing is those are good, well-positioned markets to have.
And they're going to continue to grow. They're southern. They're, politically advantageous in many cases, these markets you just described. And so, there are a lot of reasons that over the long haul, they will do extremely well. Yep. Yeah, I agree completely, brother. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on the show, my friend. It's good to see you. I had we had to reschedule this thing. I had a family emergency, but I'm glad you were flexible enough to come back. It's great to see you, and I'm sure we'll cross paths soon, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you as well, and love everything you're doing. So keep on doing it, keep crushing it. It's a lot of fun to see your journey along the way.
Likewise, brother. Take care. See you.
All right, man. See ya.
Rod, I know a lot of our listeners are wanting to take their multifamily investing business to the next level. Now, I know you've been hard at work helping our Warrior students do just that using our ACT methodology, which is awareness, close, and transform. Can you explain to the listeners how they can get our help?
You bet. Guys, we've been going nonstop for 3 years, building an amazing community of like-minded people. And our coaching students, which we call our warriors, have had extraordinary results. They've purchased thousands and thousands of units. And last year, we did over 1,000 units with our students. And we're looking to grow this group and take it to the next level. We're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework that's really step by step, and then leverage our systems and network to raise equity, to find and close deals, and to build partnerships nationwide. Now, our warrior community is finding success in any market cycle. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more of our incredible network and take advantage of the incredible opportunities that are coming very soon, apply to work with us at mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 72345, and we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out. That's mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 72345.